Hi guys, today let's see how do we merge two sorted lists. So the question reads, you are given the head of two sorted linked lists, list 1 and list 2. Merge two lists in one sorted list. The list should be made by splicing together the nodes of the first two lists. Return the head of the merged linked list. And let's read the constraints too. So the constraint says the number of nodes in both lists is in the range of 0 to 50. Okay, and node values can range from minus 100 to 100, and both list 1 and list 2 are sorted in non-decreasing order, which means moving forward the value of the both lists will only be getting larger. So let's take the first example. So we have a first list which reads 1, 2, and 4, and the second list which reads 1, 3, and 4. So the way we go about doing this is, first we'll compare, or well, let's take the head of the first one, which is 1, and we'll compare it with this the second node head. In this case both are same, so it doesn't matter, we can add any one. Now we'll compare the first one with the second list second value, which is 3 in this case. Now we know 1 is less than 3, so we'll add 1 here. And so we have added 1 and 1 from the both the list. Now we'll check with 2. So we have 2 from this list and 3 from this list. Since 2 is smaller, we'll add 2 first. So now we are left with 4, only 4 from the first list and 3 and 4 from the second list. So we'll check 4 and 3. So 3 is small, so we'll add 3. Now 4 and 4, it doesn't matter which 4 we get added, but since we are using the 4 from the first list, we add 4. So now our first linked list is empty, and since we know that the list is already sorted, in this case we have only 4. Let's say we have another two elements, let's say 4 pointing towards 6 and 6 pointing towards 8. In that case what we'll do is, whatever the value we have on the remaining node, we'll add it to the end of our node, right? So let's code it up. Okay, let's take the second example too. Okay, second example leads list 1 is empty, list 2 is empty, so we shall return empty list. Okay, and third example is list 1 is empty, list 2 is 0, so we'll add only 0. Okay, so the way we go about solving this problem is, we'll create another node class. We can call it, many like to call it dummy node, but I like to call it answer node. You can have anything you like, variables, but let's just call it maybe answer node for now, and it's of type list node, it's of class list node. So now we have our answer node which is of class list node, value 0, so which means this has a value in next parameter. Value will be 0 in this one and next will be none. And let's have a tail which is a pointer for our answer node, so that we can just simply add values to the tail and point the tail towards the next value. We don't need to work with answer node. Right, now while we have list 1, so while we have L1 and L2, list 2, which means while list 1 is not empty and list 2 is not empty, now we'll compare. First we'll compare list 1 dot value, which is this one, to, is it less than equal to list 2 dot value, which is this one. So if it is less, what we'll do is, our tail will point, our tails next, tail dot next, yeah, our tail dot next will point towards our list 1, and then we have to update our list 1 also. So list 1 will be equal to list 1, oh, so sorry, list 1 dot next. Else if L2 is small, then our tail should point towards L2, which is list 2, and then our list 2 will be equal to our list 2's next. We are updating our list 2 value. Finally we have to change our tail value, right? So after every iteration our tail should point towards its next value, right? So no matter what happens at the end, we'll say tail, our tail will point towards the next value, so tail becomes tails dot next, right? Now if, okay, and the final statement, remember, if when I was explaining the first example and I said if we have two more values, let's say 6 and 8, which means we have to add whatever the remaining values of this list to the end of our answer list, right? So let's do that. So let's say if L1, which means if which is list 1, which means if list 1 is not empty, what we'll do is our answer node should be, okay, we'll just add, okay, list 1 is not empty, we'll say tail dot next, we'll add list 1. Or if we have list 2 which is not empty, then we'll say tail dot next and we'll add list 2. Finally, let's just return our answer node. Let's run our code and let's see. Runtime error attribute list node object has no attribute val. Okay, so okay, my bad. It's named val. So just we have value. Yeah. Now let's run. Expected input is 1 1. Oh, okay, my bad again. So remember we created an answer node to be an empty list node, right? So the definition of single list linked list class according to Leetcode is it has a value of 0, right? So the first value of our answer node will be 0. So either we can say answer node to be answer node not next, or we can just say answer node to, we can just return answer node dot next. Now let's run the code and see. Yeah, and let's try to submit it. Right, and we solve that's how we merge two linked lists. Thank you.